I learned from a young age that we're all the same. We're good, we do good things. We're bad, we do bad things.
When we first started thinking about doing a documentary involving the Starfish Palace, we had no idea what we were about to find.
That's a great question. What I think made the Starfish Palace such a legendary place to live it would have to be the residents. They were certainly a colorful cast.
It was a beautiful building for the community. It was right on the corner of Washington and 3rd, where I still live. And it was full of sweet ladies and sweet people back there in my times.
Man, the times we had and the people she'd talk about. Oh, if those walls could talk.
See, my mom and Paul, they built it. They had, his name was Sylvester and her name was Michelle.
Actually, it was really just an ordinary apartment building. In fact, we didn't even start calling it the Starfish Palace until 77 or 78. Before that, it was called Washington Tower because it was at the corner of Washington and 3rd.
So I show up in LA. I just got off the bus. I just decided one day, hell, I need a record contract. So I took my guitar, slung it on my back, and hopped a bus, a Greyhound bus, across Texas and all those other states, and wound up in Los Angeles, California. Hopped off the bus and looked all around at this place and thought, where the fuck am I going to sleep? And then I saw this building. Right? And the sign in the front didn't say Starfish Palace at that time. It said Washington Tower. It was at Washington and 3rd. Around the corner from Hollywood and Vine, in fact. Well known. So, yeah, I knocked on the door, and this crazy old guy with crazy wild eyes answered the phone. And he said, what the fuck you want? And I said, hey, man. It's like, how much for a room? And he's like, you got managerial experience? And I said, well, no. And he said, doesn't matter. You're hired. And
they ran a great business and had great clientele. And I and my security and other brothers in the witness protection program now, we did a good job. Not only did we have our resident stand, speaking of residents, you know that old lady that keeps coughing?
Excuse me, sir.
Boy, we're about ready to do her in, have a hit on her, because she's just driving us crazy. But she did pay her rent, so you can't complain.
Mainly I just keep to myself. I mean, I make my things. I have a good life. There's a lot of good people over there, and there's a lot of crazy people over there. And so you just got to know how to work with all people, you know? All people need clothes or to repair their clothes, and I'm nearby. So that's what I do.
There were children at the Starfish Palace. Children and cats. Lots of cats. I don't remember all of their names, but of course there was Sylvester's boy, Vinny, and Jane had a daughter, little Jamie. And the two of them, they played together all the time. It was very cute.
It was the heyday of the Starfish. There was music. No vacancies. Everyone wanted to be there.
As I recall, Jane had taken them to see one of the Godfather movies that summer, and I know, she was very permissive. Jack did not approve, said it was not appropriate for children. But I like to see the best in people, and well, Jane was a fun mom.
I remember my mom was dating this guitarist named Keith, and Nana Jack and Mum and I would go over and dance, and they would drink themselves silly.
In any case, the kids loved to play this game. They called it Mobsters. They would visit the residents and they would offer protection in exchange for cookies or candy. And, well, Vinny and little Janie, they visited me almost every day. And he would say something like, "You disrespected my family." And then she'd say something like, "You don't want my mom to make you dinner, do you?" I never told Jane that. Maybe she was a lousy cook, but she was a single mom and she was doing the best she could.
I might have a prescription. There we go. Photo of us. There's my mom, Jane. My Nana, Jack, and there I am. And I won't tell you my age. We'll stay young.
But, well, by 1980, everybody wanted to live there. But there were not any vacancies.
But was the Starfish Palace really the lovely paradise of fun that everyone said it was? Or was something more sinister afoot?
Well, like I said, I worked across the street, so of course I knew what was going on.
What'd you ask me about? Oh, Starfish Palace. Oh, yeah. I remember the Starfish Palace.
Especially after the one resident, Queen Liv. Well, you know about her, right? I mean, she's the most amazing drag queen ever.
Yeah. I arrived in LA 1977. January 15, 1977. I remember that day specifically because it was my grandmother, Nana Jack Mataksky's birthday.
In 1977? Something around that time. I don't even remember. That was so long ago. A lot of weird people. People still moving in. Yeah, it was chaotic. It was really crazy. I didn't want to live there anymore. There was this man. He was holding a guitar and his nose was white all the time. And I could hear him every single night playing his guitar. He was making so much noise. My kitty was scared of him. He couldn't even move, and the kitty started scratching at me, and I couldn't sleep.
We needed to make a little extra money, had opportunities, why not? We had a businessman that came and worked for us, and, that upset the ladies because they were a little nervous about him. But so what if he killed a few people? So what if he served time in Rikers? Who cares? Your past is your past. You need to forgive and try to forget.
And then one day, this crazy man, I think he said he was the building manager. Yeah, he started telling me about this dead body. But I couldn't believe that a dead body in Washington Tower. There's no way there is a dead body in this building.
As we continued to investigate, we learned that there were more dark things that were happening behind the scenes. Things that all seemed to lead back to Nana Jack.
Jack. Oh, everybody loved Jack. She was a very generous lady. A lot of us were living a bohemian lifestyle back then, and we didn't have a lot of money. Well, let's be honest, a lot of us didn't have jobs. And Jack was always there for you, if you needed money for the rent or whatever. She was very helpful.
She's this weird old lady. Her parents named her Jack. It was short for Jacqueline. But anyway, that's a whole other story.
And she and Jane and little Janie, they were like a family.
She was like a grandma, often like a mother to me.
In fact, I would say that is the one area that Jane was strict with little Janie. She had what they called family dinner, and every night at 6 p.m., little Janie was to be home, and the three of them shared a nice traditional meal. And Jack really liked that. She was an older lady, so she appreciated it. It was really sweet.
It was really tough on me when she died.
But anyway, it was her birthday, so I stopped at payphones back when we had payphones, and stopped at the payphone to call Nana Jack. And I was busy. Found out later that she was dead, and that was like, the police on the phone, because all they had were landlines back then. Didn't even have radios. But anyway, that's a whole other story.
I know it was tough on my mom too. She showed it in her own way, but I know she grieved.
They never ruled foul play, but we all knew. I mean, those people came in there and befriended Nana Jack and worked out a way to get all her money. Even Queen Liv was involved. I mean, she helped somehow because she ended up leaving right after it happened. I think they gave her money. I mean, she had some stuff done. I think she's living a really good life in Lake Tahoe now.
Wasn't that surprising to me, honestly, when the will was read and my mom got everything from Nana Jack. Her kids threw a fit. But my mom was like a daughter during those years. She was her closest friend. Made perfect sense to me. No, the police did not suspect foul play. It was a slow summer. The press took an old lady dying and ran with it. There were never any arrests made. People die. So my mom told me anyway, at the time. Pardon? I'm sorry. Can we stop this for a second? Can you turn off the camera? It's off. You came into my office telling me this was an interview about the Starfish Palace. You were asking a lot of questions about Nana Jack and how she passed. I don't know what I'm getting another call. Let's wrap this up for today.
Though a lot of things are unclear, one thing seems very clear. That bitch's mother killed Nana Jack.
Jackson, go ahead. What will it take to keep him quiet? That's fine. Set up the transfer.